Hello, this is the tradesight Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, March 1st, 2015, and ending Friday the 6th of March. Hope you had a good trading week. Apologize, that'll be the 5th of March. Here's a look at the dollar index. Daily charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. And nice basing action now. I mean, obviously, it's been sideways for the last month, not nearly as exciting to us since that Swiss National Bank fiasco as things were in the months leading to that, in the run-up from August or so to the middle of January. So the last month's been flatter. Ranges have been narrower, but we finally got a day of movement on Thursday. And actually, if you look at it here, it looks almost like a high range base that could lead to a breakout. We're near it, and maybe give us another little push. So we'll see how that goes from there. Let's take a look at some of the individual pairs. Euro dollar looking just like it, heading towards the lows. Now we are 9 bars, actually, I believe. Let's take a look in projection mode. We're 10 bars down towards a 13 buy signal on the seeker. But this thing's heading back towards parity. Next move down should push us below 1.10. Not a lot of people would have predicted that back in just August. Here's a look at the pound. Rallied a bit this week. You can see it found a lot of support at that risk level for a while, then broke it a little bit and came back. That's the pink line. And the target here ultimately would be the green line up top. That's a static trend line of the last 9-bar startup phase. Here's a look at the Aussie dollar. Didn't do a darn thing for the last several weeks. Here's the New Zealand dollar, has moved up just a bit, heading back towards that static trend line. And just to look at a cross pair, here's the pound yen. By the way, I should also point out, if you go to the euro yen, what you see is we just got a 13 seeker buy signal here on the euro yen, and the risk line is right down there under 132. So that would be the ultimate stop or bottom on the euro yen from that signal. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what happened this week in 30-minute bars on the various pairs that we trade. So here's the euro dollar. Again, look how boring it was. Basically trapped in an 80 pip range or so. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday until Thursday, and then finally the move on Thursday, and then Friday again very narrow. Pound was only, and by the way, the range for the whole week is only about 200 pips, and we were seeing 350 consistently there for a while, which is more tradable for us. Here's a look at the pound dollar. This one traded about 220 pips of range for the week, but it was a little more movement. Monday was a wider range day. Tuesday was flat. Wednesday was a little better drifting up. Thursday, wider range with a downside move that we took advantage of. Friday, back and forth, not very exciting. So we wrapped the month. That is done. I'll get the totals for the month. Again, I think this is going to be, looking at the totals, going to be one of the lighter months we've seen in a while in terms of our trading action. Just didn't have the volatility that we like to see, but hopefully that will return here soon. All right, let's take a look at the economic data coming out this week. Compliments of Forex Factory. And to see what we can see and see if there's anything we need to be aware of so we can roadmap for the new start of the new month, March 2015. Sunday, New Zealand Overseas Trade Index, AIG Manufacturing Index out of Australia and their MI inflation gauge, capital spending out of Japan, final manufacturing PMI out of Japan, final manufacturing PMI out of China as well. We're going into Monday, commodity prices out of Australia, housing price index out of the UK, Spanish manufacturing PMI and Swiss of the same, and Italian of the same, and the broad European number of the same. Italian monthly unemployment rate and quarterly unemployment rate. I guess they break it down a couple ways over there. I'm looking for a 12.8% number. Manufacturing PMI out of the UK, net lending to individuals, M4 money supply, mortgage approvals. Europe's got the CPI flash estimate and unemployment rate at 5 a.m. Eastern time on Monday. Go to the U.S. side. Well, Canada's got the current account. U.S. has personal income and spending and the core PCE price index. We've got the manufacturing PMI number out here out of the U.S. at 945. Construction spending to follow. Then we jump till the evening. We've got monetary base out of Japan. We've got the ANZ commodity prices out of New Zealand. Australia's building approvals and current account. Japan's 10-year bond auction and average cash earnings. We've got a rate announcement out of the Bank of Australia. It takes us into Tuesday. Swiss GDP, Europe's German retail sales, Spanish unemployment change, construction PMI, Europe's PPI, Canada's GDP, RMPI, and IPPI. Not even sure what some of those are. New Zealand's GDT price index. We've got the TIP economic optimism index out of the U.S. and total vehicle sales some point in the afternoon here in the U.S. AIG Services Index, BRC Shop Price Index, Australia's GDP number at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday. Yellen speaks somewhere at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday. Must be out of country, I would think. China's HSBC Services PMI. We got the Halifax HPI out of the UK. Europe's Spanish Services PMI, Italian Services PMI, Final Services PMI out of Europe, and the Services PMI out of the UK, all spaced out 30 minutes apart each for a few minutes there. Retail sales out of Europe. We got ADP non-farm employment change out of the U.S. We got a Fed member Evans speaking. Final Services PMI data out of the U.S. at 9:45 a.m. on Wednesday. Bank of Canada's rate statement 10 a.m. We got ISM non-manufacturing PMI out of the U.S. Crude oil inventories Wednesday in the Beige Book at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Go to Australia at 7:30 p.m. Wednesday night Eastern Time. We got retail sales and trade balance. That's some big data for Australia. Then they got the 30-year bond auction out of Japan. We've got the German factory orders and retail PMI out of Europe. We've got French 10-year bond auction. UK's got their official rate announcement out of the Bank of England, so we've got that and the ECB one as well, the European one. So we've got rate announcements Thursday morning out of Europe. Unemployment, the weekly unemployment claims number out of the U.S. We've got the non-farm productivity number, revised unit labor costs. We've got Canada's IV PMI, factory orders out of the U.S. Natty gas is a weekly number out of the U.S. Going to the evening there, 5:30 p.m. AIG construction index out of Australia. We jump to Friday, midnight Eastern Time. Japan's leading indicators, German industrial production, French trade balance and budget balance. Switzerland's foreign currency reserves, CPI out of Switzerland, consumer inflation expectations. We've got Europe's revised GDP data. That's 5 a.m. That's not the first look at their GDP. And then big data dump out of the U.S. and Canada. Building permits, trade balance, labor productivity out of Canada, the non-farm payroll number, trade balance. So we've got both the unemployment rate, which is that, and the non-farm payroll. That's one of our big three each month. And trade balance, another one of our big three each month. Two of the big three at the same time, 8:30 a.m. on Friday. So maybe we'll get some action Friday morning. And then consumer credit out of the U.S. Friday afternoon. So those are the big ones. So again, it's a week. It's a lot of data. You got the Bank of Canada announcement for rates on Wednesday. You've got the one out of Australia earlier in the week. And then you've got the ones out of Europe and the UK. Britain on Thursday morning. That can cause some activity. And then Friday, a lot of big data here in the U.S. So it's a busy week. Could see some stuff that moves the markets. And we'll have one day, which is going into Friday, where we'll be half size for sure because of those big numbers. We don't like to get stuck in the news sweeps. We'll be available to help you out in the lab as usual. Anybody that's interested in learning how to trade Forex, we do have a full 6-month mentorship program where we can teach you how to trade. Otherwise, take a trial of our services. If you do find this video useful, please like us on YouTube. It does help us out. Have a great week and weekend.